only one shot. We're going to be going from Dino Domain to Future Funland, going in the order of the game.
And off they go. So one thing you're going to see a lot is that they're going to be using every single boost that they can. That's all. Boosts are like incredibly OP in this game.
Yep, so for most of the game, you will only be looking for the blue power-up balloons. Unlike a Mario Kart game where items are random, you actually have control of which items you get. Oh, Peeg's running into the dinosaur there. That dinosaur can be quite a troll.
Yeah, mistakes in this game are extremely costly because a big part of going fast is being able to keep your speed. So as soon as you bonk into something, it like really matters. You use like seconds easily.
Yep, generally in this sort of category, there aren't very many huge mistakes that can instantly kill a run, but every little tiny mistake you make is going to add up. So even though we're still in the first world, this is actually one of the more difficult tracks for speedrunning, because it's very technical and there are a lot of little things you can do that can save or lose a lot of time. Seeing a trick called Canyonless. It's a play on the Mario 64 Cannonless, and you'll see Sweener grabbing it right now. Get both the balloon and the zipper in order to fly over that canyon area right after by chaining the blue boost with the zipper.
When Peeg's shooting Pipsy, maybe a little for revenge. Jungle Falls, probably one of the most fun tracks, super fast, but super hard as well. Especially the tunnel section, sometimes the eye can be a little troll right here. Sweener avoiding Timber, which has a shield. So if you run into an AI that has a shield, you actually starts to spin out of control. And at that point, there's usually one or two AI that have a shield, so you gotta be careful not to jump on them.
Yep, one of the consequences of this game not having rubber banding is that you do have to deal with lapping the AI. And just because they're a lap behind you doesn't mean they won't try to shoot you or get in your way or steal your balloons or otherwise interfere with your run.
Yeah, there's a few notable tracks where it happens often, where you have to be on the lookout for that. Jungle Falls is definitely one of them. And now it's going to be the first out of bounds of this category, which is going to be out the volcano. Fairly simple. You boost and barrel underneath the wall, and while you're barrel rolling and boosting, basically the lava doesn't try to push you upwards, and so if you have enough momentum, you can just go underneath the wall and go out of bounds. And the way this game works, if you just go out of bounds and hit all the checkpoints around the track, it will count the laps. So that way you don't have to deal with the AI, and it's just overall much faster than being in bounds.
Yep, and you'll see the players barrel rolling the whole time on plane stages. That's because barrel rolling gives you a free speed boost. And obviously when you can just fly straight out of bounds, it's a lot easier to handle barrel rolling than when you have to deal with obstacles inbounds.
Exactly, and so far Sweener with quite a little lead here. Now in the first hover track, this one can either go really well or really bad. It seems like it's one of those really volatile tracks. It looks simple, but to do it fast, it's incredibly hard.
Yeah, the hover has some very unusual mechanics, one of them being that if you're turning, you actually get a little bit of a speed boost, mostly designed just to make it feel a little smoother when you're turning in the hover. But you'll see Sweener and Peegs both abusing this by constantly turning and what we call making back and forth. That lets them keep the game's little speed boost for making turns feel smooth, while just driving straight ahead. And Pirate Lagoon also is a great place to see that the hover has some interesting mechanics when it comes to the ends of boosts. A lot of times, especially if you're just going straight ahead and holding A, when a boost runs out, you'll slow down almost to, they don't have the speedometers up, but you lose almost all your speed, pretty close to zero. But in Pirate Lagoon, if you manipulate boosts and the lag well, keep chaining boosts together and avoid that speed drop.
Oh, and here's an example of the AI being in your way. So Sweener normally would go to the left blue balloon there, but one of the AI was just took that balloon right before him, so he had to go to the one on the right, which uses a little bit of time. So that's the kind of thing you have to deal with in the ATR and just runs in general. Peaks not getting the best out of the boost.
So now Sweener's on Preston Island. This one, other than the fact that the AIs are there, is very much plays like the time trial because there are no blue balloons to give you any boosts other than on zippers, which are also there on time trial. You do still have to deal with the AI.
One of, I think, 2 tracks that do not have blue balloons. Very unusual. So this one is like actually worse, easier in time trial because there's less lag and there's no AI obviously. The P is not that far behind. Sir is missing 1 banana, so he's gonna lose overall a little bit of speed and time, but it's not that much of a difference. So in this game, you want to try to get 10 bananas because they do increase your top speed. And the difference between 1 or 0 banana is not that much, but like between 0 and 10, it really adds up a lot. So you want to make sure you grab all the bananas.
Yep. We're now seeing Treasure Caves over on Sweener's side, and this is one of the more inconsistent tracks. It's very fast. There's a lot of zippers that can be chained together along with that blue balloon. But it's also, there's an uneven terrain. There's this hill. You go off the air a little bit. So it can be very inconsistent with very slight differences in line and position causing very different results.
So now I would say about a 40-second time difference between the two. It looks like, it's a pretty big lead at this point for Sweener, but some of the harder tracks are coming up, so we never know. One of the harder tracks being Everfrost Peak, which is what Sweener is going to do now. So play in general have some of the hardest track, but this one is just pretty insane if you do all the fast.
Yeah, and I know we don't have it on the layout for SpeedGaming, but if you watch any of the top racers who have input displays, you can actually see that a well-run Everfrost Peak will basically not use the A button, the gas button at all. And that's because when you're going above the normal max speed, the button actually slows you down. That's the way it functions. It pushes you towards your normal max speed. And in the plane, because of the barrel roll speed boost, you should be able to always be above your max speed.
So you basically hold the A button for 2 seconds at the beginning and then never touch it again until the end, if you're doing it properly. That was a pretty good Everfrost by Sweener though. Oh, and Peak's bonking a bunch.
Yeah.
And
I definitely also do the rage beeps.
The rage beeps, very common indeed. I think everybody does them at some point. It's just, a very convenient way to let out the rage. Yeah, playing mistakes actually are the worst to do. In car and hover, when you bonk, you lose maybe 1-3 seconds, depending on where you are. In plane, you can easily lose like 5 seconds from one bonk alone because of like how much time it takes to accelerate and the time you're like not able to move after a bonk and stuff. So it's really important to have a clean plane performance to get good times. And
Both runners now in Walrus Cove, and this ending part where Sweener is a very high risk section because if you touch that dark blue ice, it will stop you dead in your tracks and bounce you up into the air and back onto the course. It's one of the bigger time losses in car.
probably the biggest, if I had to think. I can't really think of anything else worse. It's such a big time loss. Unless I think the worst one would be maybe falling off the bridge in Jungle Falls onto the water or something like that.
Yeah,
But otherwise, the
Jungle
ice
Falls
is
or Star City.
and on the ramp you want to be holding to the right because it's just a tiny bit faster to be on the right than the middle. Not exactly sure why, but it just is. Oh wow, Sweener bunking the tunnel there. Can be a
Snowball Valley. Oh, go ahead.
You're gonna say like the tunnel and just some of it in general is so bumpy. It's really hard to in the car to like actually not do any mistakes.
Yeah, it's a very short and fast track, but it's also has very uneven terrain. And whenever you're airborne, obviously it's a lot harder to control.
Also, you have to try not get hit by the snowball because they will crush you and you will slow down a lot. And sometime, if you're in a really good pace on Snowball Valley on the third lap, there's always snowballs in the way, and they're actually pretty hard to. And now for probably the laggiest track in the game, Frosty Village.
Yeah, the snow effect, just even without music, just makes the lag on this stage really difficult to contend with.
Ooh, that's
Yep,
a really good lap.
Yes, there is a category called hover percent. There's also car percent and plane percent, which is just playing every track where that particular vehicle is available.
Yeah, those are missions categories that people do sometimes, like practice car or practice plane, stuff like. Sweener done with Snowflake trophies, so there's only two more trophies for Sweener, but those are probably the two hardest.
Yeah, Peeg's getting caught on that angled wall in Frosty Village. That's one of those situations. The walls in Frosty Village, because of the way they're angled, it can be difficult to tell where the actual clipping is, and it's very easy to just touch the wall a little bit and come to a complete stop.
So one thing you're going to see Sweener do on this track, especially, is sometimes in hover, it is beneficial to like ricochet off a wall, because you don't really lose that much speed if you like, if you hit a wall in a certain angle, you don't really lose speed, and it can redirect you in the right direction. And so if Sweener is able to hit the walls properly, it's going to actually be helpful. Like this, you hit like the edge of the wall and just kind of shoot him to the right in the direction he wanted to go, while keeping a lot of his speed. And I think that actually helps to carry the speed of this boost over, like a lot more than.
Yeah, especially in the lap where you're passing the AI, the inside of the castle can be very laggy. And if you can use that boost to get through it quickly, it saves a lot of time. So Sweener now on Greenwood Village, which is one of the more technical car tracks. A lot of drifting skills are required to keep your speed through some of these sharp S turns, especially at the end here. But done well, it can be very fun to watch. Uh-oh, Sweener missed the shield here, so this could be difficult. But he gets through it. Does clip the wall a little bit. Typically, you want to grab the shield at the start of lap 2 because there's almost always an oil slick and a spiked mine or two right after that second zipper.
Yeah, so the AI, how the AI works in this game is they're actually inclined to use their items when you use yours. And because they're usually always in the same spot if you're on the same pace, you know, if you're in a good pace, they're always going to be at the entrance of that tunnel. And if you use the blue balloon at some point, while they are there, they're pretty much they're programmed to be inclined to drop their spike balls and stuff. And so it's like that's why it's like extremely common to see these items in that really particular spots. And that's the same for like every other track. If you're on the same pace and there's a spot in their use that they can drop stuff, they usually will do it every time if you use your item there.
So here comes the big out of bounds for Sweener, and he gets it. Kept a decent amount of momentum too. But this isn't over because this is one of the more difficult tracks to stay out of bounds while going fast. All of the borders are one-way barriers, so if you go into a wall from out of bounds, it will let you right back in, and then you have to either finish the track normally or clip back out.
Also, one thing to note is that it cannot go underneath the track there because the water actually will push anything that's underneath it towards the it will push upwards anything that's underneath it, even if like really below it. And so if he tries to go underneath the track and there's water, it's just gonna push him back in bounds. So he needs to go around. And that's the same for the lava and the Alpha volcano as well.
So now we have Haunted Woods, which is yet another one of these car tracks that can be really fast with some change zippers, but has really uneven terrain, which makes it difficult to be consistent. Sweener getting a 15-second lap even with a zipper. Looking a lot cleaner on this lap. And of course, as soon as I say that, he misses the last zipper as well, but still got a 46.
Yeah, 46 is pretty good for sure. And Peaks, I don't know if Peaks went for the out of bounds or not. I didn't check, but for sure isn't going out of bounds. Well, I think she's gonna try. So I'm assuming she missed on the first lap, which is very unfortunate. Or maybe not. I don't know. I wish I saw what happened.
I don't think Peaks goes for it.
Oh, really?
She hasn't in her last couple of races.
Well, I guess she's not confident enough. Because I think she can, right? She knows how to do it. Or maybe not. I don't know. Either way, loses quite a lot of time instead of doing the out of bounds. I think it's at least 30 seconds, if not more. So, you know, very costly. And now Sweener on the arguably hardest track in the game, Space Dust Alley. It's just overall a pretty tight track. There's not that much space. And in plane, like we said, we have to do barrel rolls and boost a bunch to go really fast. And, you know, barrel rolling in all these tight tunnels and without bunking is actually extremely challenging. Especially if you try not to slow down or anything.
Yeah, so Sweener did manage to avoid bunking. He had to slow down a little bit to avoid getting shot down by that ship.
Yeah, definitely did cost quite a few seconds, but overall 117 for a race is pretty good.
Yep. And better to lose a couple of seconds slowing down to avoid getting shot down than bonking, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, a bonk in space salary is probably the worst thing you can do. And now for the best track. I know not a lot of people agree, but I really like Dark Moon. Let's see if he goes for the loop skip. No, he doesn't. So there's actually a way to skip the second loop, but it only saves 1 second, and it's not really worth it. Like, it's pretty hard to do, but maybe he'll try.
Sweener did get it in his first race, or at least he got out of bounds, but he voided out instead of finishing on the third lap.
Oh yeah, true.
So he did lose quite a bit of time to it.
I remember he told me that he went for it for the meme, but didn't know what to hold after getting the out of bounds, because you need to hold a certain spot on the stick, and you need to go neutral after a while. Otherwise, you void out like what happened to him in his first race. And yeah, I think he just didn't know what to do. Because like I said, it's not something you usually go for. Even like world record attempt, people don't even go for it because it's just not worth it.
Yep, still finishing with a 137.
Yeah, pretty decent. Oh, Peak's missing both balloon. Oh, that's really harsh. When you start missing balloons on Space or Sally, it's just like a chain effect of like everything else after is really bad. Because as soon as you miss one, you don't have the same amount of speed. You can't do the same strat, and that track being so hard, when you mess up one thing, like you're most likely messing up the next thing, and so on.
Yes, Star City is a pretty straightforward track. It does have some strange to handle right angles to deal with at the end, so there's a lot of quick drifting back and forth. There's also this little tunnel here with a little bump right before the zipper. On the first couple of laps, it's not too bad. When you don't have 10 bananas yet, you can hold up on the joystick and almost always get that zipper. But once you have 10 bananas, even holding up on the joystick, sometimes you're just going too fast and you jump over it.
And now for the last track, Spaceport Alpha, actually has in Japanese only out of bounds, which Sweener is going to be going for. And this is why you see most runners on the Japanese version, because it saves quite a bit of time to do it. So he's gonna go out of bounds using a blue balloon and a shield. A shield because that room had a bunch of lasers and it's really easy to get shut down, and a boost to go through the little hole in the wall. And now, as you see, he's just gonna be flying around the map, hit all the checkpoints, and complete the track.
Yeah, so there's actually no checkpoints in the upper right part of the map as you look at the mini map in the bottom corner of the screen. So you only really have to fly in a triangle from the top left, the bottom right, and the bottom left. So that's one of the reasons why it saves so much time to be able to clip out of bounds on this track.
Oh, it's Sweener with the swag loop right at the end. And wins the race with a 24:19. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, that'll probably...
That is the second best time so far.
Yeah, we'll see if that holds on, but that could certainly get him a first round bye in the bracket stage.
Sure.
Because with 12 people moving on, there are 4 buys in play. So the top 4 individual race times will earn a bye.
So yeah, congrats to Swinner for sure, but Peaks will be finishing her race because if she if she's one of the two to get out of her group, that time may be the one that is used for the seeding. Because if you don't know, the bracket seeding is seeded based on both if you finish first or second. But after being first or second, of all of those that are first and second, the best race time is used for the seed within them. And so finishing strong is really important for Peaks right now.
Yeah, I believe her time coming into this is a 27:27. I believe that's what she got last night or the night before.
If that is true, then she's on a really good pace to beat it.
Yeah, a good spaceport. I think she could PB. Her PB is a 27:10.
Yeah, a good spaceport would do it for sure. That sucks.
So it is possible, but extremely difficult to get out of bounds without the blue balloon.
Yeah, well, you have to go without blue balloon in the time trials because there's no balloon in time trials. But if you're not used to that, it's extremely hard for sure. And the honking begins.
Yeah, Peegs actually did do the same thing in her last race. She was on PB pace into Spaceport Alpha and missed the clip, and said in the post-game interview that she was sure that she was going to do it again against Sweener, and it seems like it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. Here we are.
Oh, wow, she actually went and bounced. No. Oh, that's really hard.
Okay, so she did get the checkpoint in the corner. Going back. Oh, that's a really unfortunate finish. That's 2 races in a row. Peaks had a PB all set to go and either clipped back in or missed the clip in Spaceport Alpha.
Yeah, not the hardest thing in the world to do, but also not the hardest thing to miss for sure. It can be missed pretty easily if you're not careful.
Yep, Peaks will definitely get a 26 soon, but unfortunately not in the group stage.
Yep.
She's just saving it for the bracket race, right?
Yeah, of course. She's just gonna PB over and over in the bracket race. And yeah, right now we have Swinner in the call. Congrats on the win.
Thank you very much.
With a pretty good time of 24:19. How do you feel about that?
I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, I hit most of the big stuff pretty well. Spaceport was pretty shaky, naturally, just because it's like the one thing you don't want to mess up, and unfortunately.
And I did that.
We've all been there.
I was gonna get the 26, dude. I was literally 12 seconds. I was 8 seconds ahead of PB going into it. So yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting a big PB, and then that happened, and made me sad.
At least I actually golded Windmill Plains by 2 seconds, so
Yeah.
that's something.
Yeah, I thought you knew how to go out of bounds in Windmill Plains. Maybe I'm mistaken, but
no, I don't actually.
oh, okay.
Because it was like a long time ago when I was just a wee non-sub 30. I said, hey, I'm gonna try to get the Windmill Plains out of bounds. I'm gonna learn that when I get a 27. Okay, as soon as the tournament announced, I was like, oh, I still have a 28. 15. I'm like, okay, let's get a 27, and then I get a 27. Oh wait, I have to learn, but no, I don't have time. And then like I was gone for like a week. I came home at midnight, and then the next day I was like dead asleep, and then I had a match, and then I had work, and then I had a match, and then I have this match, and God. Oh, Spaceport, man, I'm so upset.
Definitely a tough one. I did not mean to loop at the end there.
That wasn't just for swag?
No, it was like accidental swag. We'll dub it as that.
Isn't all swag in this game accidental?
Exactly. Yeah.
I can't wait to like get the 24-18 and I'll beat you because you did the...
I'm waiting for it, man. This happens. Yeah, it'd be good. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, most of my races were good enough for, you know, this kind of run, but there's just so much slop left and right that I was kind of like, man, if I could just clean up a couple things. Like, I think my worst tracks were Star City was pretty bad. Orvis Cove was terrible. Everything, you know, it's just there's at least one or two tracks in every run that just kind of falls apart for no particular reason. So
that's kind of like what ATR is. You know, it's so hard to be perfect on any 20 track. There's always one or two that goes really wrong, and then the rest is fine. And you're always like, damn, if only I had that one track go well. But, you know, that's how it.
EP went well, so.
EP didn't go well for me.
Yeah, that was a rough one for sure. And you know, knowing how much you love AP, it was you know.
EP.
Shut up! No.
Favorite track.
Shut up, Matthew. Matthew Sweeney.
Well,
the cow out there.
yeah, I'd say no one knows my real name. It's not like it's in my tag or anything. Otherwise, yeah, it's a very fun race. Felt good to just sit down and knock out a sub 24:20.
Yeah, that was really good. So I guess just to wrap it up, Sweener, how do you feel? You have one more match against Mano, I believe.
Yes.
Okay, so how do you feel about that match, and how do you feel you'll go do in the bracket if you make it there? Which I assume you would probably.
I'm really looking forward to playing my third match with Mano, and I'm really excited for the bracket. I think this tournament is going to be insane in terms of competition. There's really no telling who who grand finals is going to be, just because of how many top players we have. You know, all it takes is one mistake, and you lose 20 seconds, and that's those 20 seconds you needed to beat Obio or beat Trident or beat Rain Raider. You know, all these guys that just show up and have really been killing it lately. So, and of course we have Giz, who I think you said already got a 23.
Yeah, 23-27 in this like first real race. Like, goddamn, it's. No, there's like 4:23 on the leaderboard, and he just casually gets one in the race.
Yep,
it's not an easy time. It's not an easy time.
Oh, my name is Giz, and I'm so bad because I hold the world record, but I suck anyway. Oh my god.
all right. That's not you know, tease Giz too much. But so Peegs, that was your last match, I believe, and you went 2-1. Yeah. So you should be through. You should be true to the next phase, I believe.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about it?
Well, I feel pretty great. This is the first time any like something that's happened, but like my races, I just am really upset with them because like every single race this tournament so far, they have been on PB pace, and I choked them all up, and I'm just so upset. Like, especially this one. This one was the best one yet.
Yeah, it happens.
I mean, on the bright side, you know it's right around the corner for you, and if you start implementing like when a plane's out of bounds, you'll be unstoppable.
That's true, but I mean, in the tournament, there's no way I'm going to be able to get it consistent enough to be confident in it.
You never know.
You never know. I mean, you have about 10 days until bracket, I believe. 10 and 11 days. So there's like almost 2 weeks of like practice time if you want to learn it. And I think you can get like 25s easily if you learn it.
And obviously the endings of these races were harsh, but you can't be too upset carrying a 27-20 time through into the bracket stage. I mean, that's anytime you come close to your PB in a race situation, that's pretty good.
I guess I should be thankful that I did not end up with a 28. I got 27-57. Let's go, not 28.
Well, anything anyone wants to add?
Thanks for the awesome race, Peegs. Thank you to you guys for commentating. Can't wait to watch it back and hear what you said about our gameplay. And as always, thank you, SpeedGaming.
I love you guys so much.
We love you too, Peegs.
Indeed. Alright, well, that's gonna be it for us. So, yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I believe there's gonna be more race tomorrow. So, yeah, tune in for that, and have a good night.
See ya.
Yep, and I believe on this channel we have SMB3R weekly race coming up. There's also a couple of other randomizers going on the other SpeedGaming channels, so feel free to browse through some of these different randomizers and check them out as Sweener shows off the newly discovered Out of Bounds as we head out for the night. Thank you everyone for joining us. Have a good night.
Alright, see you around.